Okay, so here's going to be the end of my story, and man, I don't remember what year it was, but Lee and I were at probably one of the last contests that we were going to come back to America and hang out, and I think we got to the New York airport, and his passport had expired, and that was the last time I saw him.
He was getting a paycheck from Vision, went to a contest in Europe, came back, and on the way in, they like, "What are you doing coming back?" He's getting paid without a visa and stuff, so he got booted out of the country.
Everybody's going through the customs, and he's going through customs too. And they said, "Are you a pro skater?" And he said, "No, I'm amateur." And they went through his luggage, and they saw his papers, and his papers said, pro skaters in demo, and it had his name listed with all the other guys that were pro. He's traveling with all the other pros, so he got his card pulled, and they had to send him back to New Zealand for working in America without having a work permit, because professional skateboarding is a job.
It started long ago in a land far away. Island people had something to say. Take your brain, put it here. I'll eat that and drink your beer. Part-time animal, full-time cannibal. I'm not crazy, he's insane. Lee Ralph will eat your brain in a bucket or cup. Eat it up. Skull cap salad. Eat it up.
Lock that front leg, Jay. Good time.
Got that tea before it gets cold, mate.
With pleasure. Bloody good cuppa. Dilmar's my favourite. Fresh there. Guy's not lying. Right after that started sort of showing my face on the radar of skateboarding in America, and I became popular really quickly for those days. Nowadays it happens a lot, but for then people didn't blow up that quickly the way that I did, which was, pretty grateful for. I got a chance to go to Paris. They go, "You should go out to Paris and do this demonstration with these guys." I went over and did it. It was with Gator, Hosoi, the list is insane. And that's when I was out there with Starb. I had an injury and I couldn't rip. I was so fucked off. All I cared about was ripping. Heading home, it was the same crew. And we're going back into Washington, D.C. I was an amateur skater, but I got that $800 retainer. They go, "You can either go into court and you can fight the case that you haven't earned any money in America." Well, then I guess I probably earned less than $1,000. And so I hate the court system. I don't like governments at all, still to this day. And so I was just like, option B, what is it? No government? Yeah, I'll take that one. So, and then I found out, I thought they were just going to fly me back to New Zealand, and because that's what you'd do. I'm a Kiwi. That's what a Kiwi would do. And they go, "Oh yeah, you have to fly back with no money to the place you just came from. That's the law. And once you get there, it's up to you how you get home." And this is when I'm pondering what's really going on, bro. I've just been deported. I'm like, probably can't be fucked going back there because I'm that kind of a dickhead. I'm just like, fuck that. So that's a big dream going down the drain. A lot of things going through my mind. On the way home, we had to stop in Dubai because there was a bomb scare and they cleared everyone off the plane and strip searched all of us on the tarmac. And then carried a guy off who had something strapped on him. Now, I'm in Singapore. We have to stop there for the day because of an airline strike. I think there's nice men at the airport in America that gave me might have even been like $100. I was being hunted by a gang of kung fu guys. No shit. They fucking stalked me. They were going to roll me. It was gnarly. They don't know I've got $100. They probably think you got for $10,000. Why else would you go to Singapore? Who would go to Singapore with $100? You have to be a fucking idiot.
without the ability to come into the United States. It made it tough, you know, and we've seen that with a lot of skaters. It makes it really difficult for his skate career at that time. Thrasher will say, look, this guy's a top 20 skater of all time, and he really was only able to do 18 months to 2 years, you know, in the States, but he left that much of an impression. It is quite phenomenal.
It's amazing to think what he could have done if he was in here like 3, 4 more years.
Yeah, it would have been amazing. It's a great shame.
Lee left an amazing impression for a pretty short period of time, but he just made you proud to be from this part of the world where I don't think they ever thought people could be that much better than just impersonators of what they did. And to infiltrate effectively the Californian skate scene and to set a benchmark was unheard of. And Lee did that as an international skater before anyone I ever remember, truly. He burnt a pretty, you know, bright flame, and I think there was a part of him that had done it, you know. There was a part of him that felt like he'd achieved most of it. You know, maybe that was a bit of fate, you know, that he wasn't really meant to end up in California after all that.
Looking back at that time, it seems like a really small slice of time to me where we were all skating together, but Lee was in and then was like gone. And I loved skating with Lee. He was rad because he had power and he had energy, and he was just stoked on skateboarding, and that was it. That was what was driving it, was just how much he loved skateboarding. So that was very relatable to me. I have no idea what Lee's doing actually at all. The last thing I heard was Lee's going to Bali, and I heard he flew to Bali with like a pair of board shorts, a tank top, and I don't even think he went, no shoes, nothing. Like, that's what I heard, is he just like got on the plane with just nothing, basically, went to Bali. That was a long time ago though.
He came back to Australia and he gets back to Fitzroy, and I'm like, oh, how you going? He goes, let's go to the pub. And I went, what? He's still the same dude, but we just went into the world of partying, and like whatever he did at fucking full tilt, and he did it full tilt.
I turned up at Munster contest, and suddenly we had to deal with a Lee Ralph with alcohol inside him and mushrooms. And me and him were play fighting in the middle of the street, and then the cops turned up. And as we walked up the street, and under his breath he goes, pussy. I go, what are you fucking saying that for? And he's like, we should have fucking done the coppers.
So we were drinking. Lee and everybody else I was with is passed out. Julian's gone, Joey's gone, Mark, Lee's friends are gone, and I'm like going toe to toe with him, drink for drink, and I'm like, I'm gonna put this dude down. And then he looks at me, he goes, bad news, I'm tripping. Now, that was the last thing I remember of that night.
It was an epic journey in itself, you know, just to follow on from skateboarding. I was kind of like, wow, you know, this is the time to do that. But then it went past that to where it was kind of like, we've celebrated, but we're still going, you know. Now what are we gonna do? I started carving really hard, and it was hard to do because my dad was a good carver, so he got all the ego things and that to get past. So I ended up carving. I just fell in love with wood, like, as much as I love skating, you know. Finding wood, I would always find my own pieces, like, or be given them by somebody who would tell me where it came from. That's why I like it. That's what got me into the carving, is it's hands-on, it's you finding the wood. It's really cheesy and meaningful, you know. Each piece that you find is really special, and then you carve it, and then it's even more special.
I have seen him through the years in Australia. Every once in a while. He's always super friendly. That's the thing. Like, he's scary looking, and the way he presents himself and the way he skates is kind of foreboding and frightening, but he is like the nicest guy. He's like this nice caveman.
still to this day when I see Lee, you know, he's just like, ah, Stevie, like, you know, with the big smile and that big red beard and that crazy hair and stinking up a storm. But he's just great, you know, great company to be around.
The monster himself, Lee Ralph!
Nobody could be happier, I don't think, than I am. For me, it's about how many high fives a man receives. Well, they're numbering into six figures, and that's for sure. So it doesn't matter if you get deported and stuff like that. When people come up to you and look you in the eye like that and give you and just go, you know, that's the end of the story. Probably the ultimate dream, really, when I was young. People looking you straight in the eye with the same love that I've got for Cam and all of the people, Lester and Neil Blender and Phillips, and the list goes on forever, Lance. People who you truly love.
I can't imagine him not, in his mind, still being there, thinking about skateboarding the way he did in 1982. I can't believe he's not doing that. The myth of who he was, who he became, or what was he about, and all these characteristics, and you live on these myths, you live on these stories, you live on these like romantic ideas of how things were. So he almost like, to an extreme, lived out these. He was awesome, man. Yeah, he was just a core skateboarder that wanted to live and breathe it, and he was insanely good on a skateboard, man.
Everywhere I go around the world, everyone's like, fuck, you know Lee Ralph? Yeah, that guy's crazy, right? And I think that's definitely part of his legendary stats, you know? But for me, got nothing to do with his appearance. It's just primarily what he did on a skateboard. You know, because he looked like that rock star dude that, you know, like a Greco or a fucking whoever, right? To me, that's got nothing to do with it. I think it's, in my mind, he's a legend because of what he did on a skateboard.
I think Lee's a special human being. He's a pure human being. He cares about what's right in front of him. His board, his surfboard, his guitar, maybe his carving knives or something. He's like, sort of sense of happiness in that, I think. That's what I see.
You know, he was one of those guys that had effortless style, but yet had an eye to do things that nobody else was doing. You know, there's people that skateboard because they want to do it for money, they want to do it for the fame, they want to do it for the things they get from it, but Lee, he just wanted to skate because he loved skateboarding.
Lee's a fucking legend. He's a Maori warrior.
Ah, well, he's just Lee.
Cut off Jean-Claude Van Damme kickboxer t-shirt.
What you see is what you get.
His status is immortal. Love you, Lee.
No compromise, do or die, no fear. Hard, real hard. This was hardcore. Not to do hardcore, he was hardcore.
He was gnarly. He had a pro model, deserved it, and you know, he deserves to be mentioned in skateboarding. Skateboarding Hall of Fame in New Zealand, or Skateboarding Hall of Fame in America. He's one of the best, one of the greatest.
Oh.
Shall we go for it?
Let's go.
So I haven't actually, she's new to me, the whole song, but I reckon it'll work for us. So. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I can't wait to look in the mirror, 'cause I get better looking each day. To know me I must be hell man. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can.
Fuck yeah. Oh yeah.
Lindsay Knight. I mean, come on, let's have it straight, man to man. What's that fucking name's that? Lindsay.